The emergency session of the Galactic Council had lasted 14 standard hours. Representatives from 43 species sat in their designated chambers, their various forms of communication creating a cacophony of clicks, whistles, and electronic pulses that the universal translators struggled to process simultaneously. Ambassador Krell of the Vorthan Empire leaned forward on his 6 legs, his compound eyes reflecting the holographic display at the chamber's center. The display showed a 3-dimensional map of known space, with one particular system highlighted in pulsing red. "The humans have become too aggressive," Krell announced, his mandibles clicking with authority. "They expand too quickly, demand too much representation, and their military grows stronger each cycle." Nods and similar gestures of agreement rippled through the assembly. The crystalline collective's representative chimed in harmonious tones that translated as support. The aquatic deepward delegation sent bioluminescent signals of concurrence from their water-filled chambers. Council Prime Elder Vex, a being whose species had founded the Galactic Council millennia ago, raised one of his 4 arms for silence. His ancient voice carried the weight of cosmic authority. "The motion has been called. All in favor of expelling humanity from the Council and implementing immediate sanctions?" The vote was swift and decisive. 42 in favor, 1 abstention from the peaceful moss folk who rarely took strong positions on anything. "Let the humans know they are no longer welcome among civilized species," Vex declared. "Perhaps isolation will teach them humility." The message reached Earth 3 days later through quantum relay. Admiral Hayes stood in the command center of Luna Station, reading the formal notice of expulsion. Around him, other senior officers of the Earth Defense Fleet absorbed the implications in stunned silence. 43 species, and they vote us out, muttered Captain Torres, her weathered hands clenched behind her back. "After everything we've contributed." Admiral Hayes set down the data pad and looked out through the reinforced viewport at the blue marble of Earth below. "They think we're too aggressive," he said quietly. "Too ambitious, too dangerous." The formal sanctions began immediately. Trade routes closed to human vessels, diplomatic immunity revoked, access to shared technology databases terminated. Worlds that had welcomed human colonists suddenly declared them unwelcome guests. But the Council had made a fundamental miscalculation about human nature. 6 months later, long-range sensors detected the first wave approaching Council space. The fleet that emerged from hyperspace dwarfed anything the galaxy had seen in recorded history. Thousands of vessels stretched across light years, their hulls bearing the distinctive blue and white markings of the Earth Defense Fleet. On the Kadi bridge of the flagship Defiance, Admiral Hayes watched the tactical display with grim satisfaction. "They wanted to see how dangerous humans could be," he said to his staff. "Time to show them." The fleet moved with precise coordination that spoke of months of preparation. Strike groups peeled off toward major Council worlds while the main force headed directly for the Council's seat of government on Nexus Prime. The Vorthan Empire's defense fleet was the first to respond. Their bioships, grown rather than built, had served them well for centuries. They moved like living creatures through space, adapting and evolving their tactics in real time. The human fleet met them head-on. What followed was less a battle than a demonstration. Human weapons developed in the isolation of their expulsion proved devastatingly effective. Kinetic bombardment systems that could crack continents. Energy weapons that burned through bioarmor, like paper. Most terrifying of all, the humans fought with a coordination and ruthlessness that shocked their opponents. Captain Torres led the assault on the Crystalline Collective's home system. The crystalline beings had always prided themselves on their mathematical precision and logical warfare. They calculated optimal defensive positions and deployed their forces according to probability matrices refined over millennia. The humans ignored conventional wisdom entirely. They used gravity bombs to shatter the crystalline defense platforms, then deployed boarding teams in radiation-hardened suits to capture key installations. When the collective's commanders tried to surrender, they found their communication arrays had been systematically destroyed. System after system fell to the human advance. The Deepward tried to flee to the ocean worlds of the galactic rim, But human pursuit ships followed them even there, using new underwater combat vessels that could operate in any liquid environment. On Nexus Prime, the Council convened an emergency session once more. This time the mood was very different. Fear replaced arrogance as reports flooded in from across Council space. "How did they develop such technology so quickly?" demanded Krell, his compound eyes darting nervously between the tactical displays showing human fleet positions. Elder Vex's voice cracked with age and terror. "We underestimated them. We thought isolation would weaken them. Instead, it freed them from our restrictions on military development." The human fleet arrived at Nexus Prime on a Tuesday local time. They didn't announce their presence with demands or ultimatums. They simply began systematically dismantling the orbital defense network with methodical efficiency. Admiral Hayes finally opened communications when the last defense platform went dark. His image appeared on screens throughout the council chambers, and many representatives recoiled at the cold determination in his eyes. "You wanted us gone," he said simply. "You got your wish. But you made one mistake. You assumed we needed you more than you needed us." The surrender came within hours. The once mighty Galactic Council dissolved not with grand pronouncements, but with whispered pleas for mercy. Species that had ruled star systems for millennia found themselves reduced to vassals of the very humans they had dismissed as too dangerous for civilized company. In the end, the Council had been right about one thing. Humanity was indeed too dangerous. They had simply failed to realize that being dangerous and being wrong were not the same thing at all.